This story is of a girl named Bryn, who used to live alone in her house. Her house is outside the city. After Bryn's mama's death, she had no bone in this world, so she used to live alone. Her mama had a dream of making a model of the city, which Bryn wanted to fulfill now. She had made the entire model of her city, which she kept fixing with time, and also made some changes. Bryn used to suture clothes to make a living. One day, after sewing the clothes, when she was going to give them, she sees a strange circle made outside her house, which she tries to remove with water, but she can't. Now she drives the auto and goes towards the city. On the way, she meets a boy whom she used to like. But when she stops the auto and looks at him, the boy had left from there. Then we come to know that the people of the city didn't like Bryn at all. That is why her house was outside the city. What was the reason that we will come to know latterly? Bryn did not want to come then, but she was helpless to come to the city, because her mama was buried in the graveyard then. That is why she goes to her mama's grave every time. When she goes there, there were also a lot of people there. When Bryn says hi to them, no bone answers her. Everyone was ignoring her. That means no bone pays attention to her. Now on the way, she sees her nonage friend, Maud's parents, whom she hides after seeing. Then it was clear that it was interdicted for her to come to the city. Bryn herself didn't want to live alone. In fact, it was her helplessness. Now she comes home and writes a letter to her nonage friend Maud. Also, a mailman comes to her house who came to give a box, in which there was a small academy that she had ordered for her city's model. She's veritably happy to keep the academy in her model. In the same way, while laughing and playing, she also completes her letter, which she was writing to Maud, in which she writes, "Maud, I know I'll no way be suitable to forgive myself, and I miss you all the time." There were also filmland of Maud in her house, which were only of her nonage. Or did Maud go nearly? What was the secret of Maud? Now we will find out about all this latterly. One night, when Bryn is sleeping, also suddenly all the lights in her house turn on. But Bryn was still sleeping. After a while, all the lights were also turned off. Also a sound of commodity falling from outdoors comes. Hearing the sound, Bryn woke up. That sound was actually the sound of a tip falling from outdoors. When Bryn turns on the light to go and fix it. Also, what's this? No light in her house turns on. When she comes down, she sees that the door of her house is open, and a strange critter was roving in her house. When Bryn notices, she finds out that it wasn't a critter, but an alien. It also saw Bryn, so now he comes up following her. Bryn snappily ran and hid in her room at the bedside. When the alien rung Bryn's room, she goes down under the bed and hides. She saw the bases of the alien near, which were veritably strange. But when the alien doesn't find anyone, he comes out of the window. Now Bryn snappily closes the window. Also she feels that the alien is walking on her roof. So now she snappily goes down and closes her door. Also, all the lights in her house turn on and off snappily. All the electronic bias were also working on their own. Seeing all this, Bryn calls the police. But her phone wasn't working. The phone was also in the same condition as her fridge. In fact, the alien was controlling everything. Bryn gets spooked and sits in the corner. Also, the alien comes near her. Then Bryn saw the face of the alien precisely. Seeing this, she gets spooked, and she pushes the alien and runs to her room. Also suddenly there's a blast in the door of the house, which caught Bryn. All this was also done by the alien. He was controlling everything in his house without touching it. Now, when Bryn was going towards the model of the city, also the alien also drops that table. Also the broken wood of the table comes in Bryn's hand. Then, when the alien was trying to catch Bryn, also Bryn hits that piece of wood in the head of the alien, due to which the alien failed there. Seeing this, Bryn gets veritably spooked. and spends the whole night sitting in front of the alien's cadaver. In the morning, Bryn covers the alien's cadaver, and she also calls the police. But her phone was dead. Along with the phone, all the electronic bias in the house were also damaged. This means that all this happened because of the death of that alien, because he was controlling everything. Seeing this, Bryn starts going from then. But her auto was also dead. Now she thinks what she should do. Also her eyes go to her head, from where the blood was flowing. Now she goes to take a bath snappily. And getting ready, she puts a lounge in front of her entrance and closes it. Actually, last night, while fighting with the alien had blasted its door. She put the lounge, but it was of no use. Anyway, now she takes a cycle and goes towards the city, where she sees the mailman's van. He was also in a bad condition. Indeed, the boy who liked Bryn, his house was also destroyed. And outside his house, there was exactly the same circle as we saw outside Bryn's house at the launch of the story. After this, she snappily goes to the police station, where Maud's parents were. Maud's mama spits on her face. Seeing this, you must have guessed that Maud's family abominated her so much. Bryn had understood that she wasn't going to get any help from the city. That is why she goes back to her house crying. But she was getting sick on the way. There's no bone to take care of her. Bryn understood that she has no bone in this city, and her house was destroyed by the alien's attack. That is why when she sees the machine passing in front of her, she had decided to go from then. She'll leave this city and go ever. Only also we can see that in front of all the houses of the city, there was the same round circle that we saw outside Bryn's house at the launch of the story. It means that the alien was going to attack then too. That circle was made by the aliens. Also, the mailman attacks Bryn sitting in the machine. Actually, he was in the control of the alien. There was commodity in his neck, by which the alien had taken over humans. The alien didn't want anyone to leave this city. That is why the mailman was also stopping Bryn. There were numerous further people in that machine who were in the control of the aliens. Now Bryn runs down from them and comes to a church, but the door there was closed. She sees a graveyard hard. Now she goes to a grave inside it, which was of Maud. That is, her nonage friend was dead, who failed because of Bryn's mistake. And that is why everyone in the city abominated her, especially Maud's parents. One aspect of the story was clear. Maud was dead, and the reason was Bryn herself. That is why she kept writing to her friend to forgive her. She's veritably shamed. When Bryn's eyes go to the sky and she sees, there are black shadows far and wide. There were a lot of alien spaceships in the sky. When she runs down from there in fear, she goes to the boy's house, whom she liked. There were numerous further people there, who were all standing with their hands up towards the sky. There was the same thing in their necks, which we saw in the neck of the mailman. This means that aliens had captured them too. When Bryn reaches her house, she sees the cadaver of that alien was still lying there. The one whom she ended. A strange liquid was coming out of his mouth. When she looks up again, there were black shadows each around. Bryn had understood that the aliens were going to attack again. That is why, rather of being hysterical, she gets ready to fight the aliens. She goes inside the house and picks up a lighter, and a knife also, and puts the water on the cook stove to boil. Also, she closes all the windows and doors. She covers the broken door of her house with a distance of nails. After a while, the nails that she puts outside fall out automatically, because now the aliens had come then. First of all, they pull the cadaver of their companion alien, whom Bryn had ended. Seeing this, Bryn goes to the basement of the house and hides. Also, another alien enters her house. He'd come to the basement. She wanted to end the alien by picking up a scissor, but the power inside him, he could pull everything towards him. That is why he also pulls scissors. The picture of Maud and her that she was having in her hands was also pulled by the alien, and he's looking at her veritably precisely. Taking advantage of this, Bryn ran down from there and comes back over. Also, she sees a small alien over there. He was small, but his hands were veritably long. He was trying to catch Bryn with his hands. Bryn gets him out of there, and the boiling water that she had kept, she puts it on that small alien. But nothing happened to that alien. Now Bryn was hiding in her restroom. But that alien was so presto. He also tears the restroom door with his own hands. That is why Bryn now tries to run down through the window. Snappily, the alien had caught his legs. Bryn picks up the broom and beats that alien. During the fight, the bow also breaks. Now Bryn hits that broken stick in the shoulder of that alien. She had hung him from the cupboard. Also, she hits him with the door of the cupboard on his head. After so important trouble, she eventually ended that alien. When Bryn comes out, another alien was staying for her, whose arms and legs were also veritably long. Then Bryn doesn't understand anything. That is why the mailman comes from before and takes her with him, who was still under the control of the aliens. The alien outside calls his companions then with a sign. The alien spaceship had arrived there, who now wanted to take Bryn with them, because she was ending their companions. That is when the white light comes down from the spaceship. So towards that light, Bryn pushes the mailman. But after a while, he comes back to the ground and falls. Then the meaning was clear. Those aliens had only come to take Bryn then. The long lawful alien was also behind Bryn. He climbs on top of her house. That is when Bryn snappily went into her auto and hid. But the alien had also come there. Bryn comes out of the auto snappily, and she locks that alien in the auto. She leaves a burning lighter on it, due to which there's a veritably big blast in the auto. That alien also failed due to the blast. But still the white light coming out of the alien spaceship was following Bryn. She comes running into her house. That is when she finds another alien inside, who had come behind her in the basement before. Rather of ending her, he was looking at her picture precisely. That is when Bryn from before thinks of attacking that alien. But the alien had set about it. That is why he attacks Bryn and throws her down. And now a red light comes outside Bryn's house, which had firmed her. That means she was firmed there. Now the alien comes to her and takes out a strange thing from his mouth. Actually, it worked like a sponger. It was an armament of these aliens, which he puts in her mouth. In this way, he could also control Bryn like other people. That means all the people who were in the control of the aliens, this sponger was in their throat. That is when Bryn wakes up. It looked like she had woken up from a dream. Actually, now that sponger had dominated Bryn's body. It had fully taken control of her mind. It had trapped Bryn in her dream world, where she'll spend her life with her city world and Maud. When she sees Maud in front of her, she apologizes to her, that she forgive her. That is when Bryn understands that this is just a dream of hers. In reality, her friend Maud is dead. That is why she puts her hand in her throat and takes out the sponger, which the alien had put in her throat. As soon as she did this, she came to her real world. Now, as soon as she drops the sponger on the ground, orange light falls on it from over, from which the sponger was getting a new body, which was of Bryn. There were numerous spaceships of aliens in the sky. Everyone was doing their job. Then we learn about the lights coming out of those spaceships. White light was to pull humans up, red to indurate, while orange was to make a new body. Now the alien Bryn was made from that sponger. It attacks the real Bryn with a cutter, from which she falls down, and also the white light took her up in the spaceship, where there were numerous aliens. By putting a cutlet on her mind, they wanted to know her recollections. This also tells us what happened to her in her old life. Why did the whole city detest her? And how did her friend die? So it happened in such a way. Bryn and Maud had a fight in her nonage. Maud pushes Bryn. In return, Bryn picked up a greystone and hit Maud. And she failed on the spot. Big Bryn used to refuse to write a letter to small Bryn in her studies. So that she can move on in her life. She does not flash back old recollections. After knowing everything, the aliens decide that they will shoot Bryn back to her world. That is why they throw her down again. She was feeling good coming back. She forgot her sad recollections and fought the aliens. We see Bryn living her life happily. The whole city now talks to her nicely. The boy she used to like was also fine with her now. She's dancing in a party. There was also a boy with her. Bryn's life was exactly as she wanted. The alien spaceships were still flying in the sky. It's possible that the aliens still have control over the whole city. And after knowing Bryn's recollections, they fixed everything according to her. Because Bryn was the only bone who fought those aliens. So then, as per the name of the film, the story is also clear. No bone will save you. You have to help yourself. No bone had saved Bryn. No bone in the city helped her. She fought the troubles herself. And with this, the story of this movie also ends then.